Alrighty, let's just get started. How's everybody doing? It's probably gonna be a little tight group today, but that's okay. I got started pretty late today. I was putting my son to bed. My daughter is getting over an illness. I wasn't sure if I'd even stream today, but I just like streaming and hanging out with you guys. And I wanted to give you a little update, by the way. Remember, I told you I wasn't going to eat these things? Check it out. Perfectly sealed Reese's Rounds. I have not eaten the Reese's Rounds. They've been on here next to my desk for weeks. I told you I wasn't going to eat them. I haven't eaten them. Promises made, promises kept. That's what we like to say here on Tandy Time. Other update is it looks like the lights behind me don't move anymore. So thanks a lot, China. Man, they don't move. I used to like watching these lights move around and make me feel like I was tripping out. And now they just stay still. Thanks, China. Jeez. Uh, so anyway, let's see who's in the chat. We got Boston Base. He says I'm late. Stan Loves is here. Who's more cooked, the Celtics or TS? He says. Boston Base says first round exit. Says what? Top shot, hot shot, zinga. Pichiluro is here. That's a new pack. He says. And theories on Twitter are that that's your only light. He says, and perfect cereals here as well. So nice to have a few of you in the chat. It's nice to be with you here. Thank you for being here. It's always nice. Always nice to hang out together just for an hour. Just, talk NBA, talk Top Shot. I get to read your comments, react to them. That's what this is all about. So why don't we start out then with the NBA playoffs? Jason Tatum, horrific injury. We got to play some Amazing Grace again. Yeah, this is how I felt watching Jason Tatum writhe around in pain, holding his leg. Very similar injury. I mean, exactly the same injury as Kevin Durant had in that pivotal game in the playoffs versus the Warriors versus the Raptors. And I just thought Knicks fans everywhere were probably doing that Drake fake agony reaction. But it is terrible. I mean, whether or not it's if it's a player you like or if it's a player that you're trying to beat, it is terrible to watch an unbelievable athlete, one of the best athletes in the world, go down like this, and then you don't get to watch him play for like 8 or 9 months. So it's really sad. It really felt like the air was popped out of the balloon when that happened, and I wasn't sure how the Celtics were going to react or respond. But it's easy to forget that you have a finals MVP on the Celtics. It's also easy to forget that the Celtics are still quite a deep team and they still have quite a lot of shooters. It's also, and nothing against Tatum, but it's also easy to forget that Tatum's also had some struggles. Like in the last year in the finals, Tatum had some games where, he wasn't really looking like himself. What the shame is that, this game that he got injured, he looked like the absolute best version of himself. He had over 40 points. He was doing it on both ends. He was just playing unbelievably. But now it's Jaylen Brown's team. It's Jaylen Brown's team. And there have been silly articles in the past trying to say that there's a rift between the two of them. Whose team is it, Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum? Well, for the rest of this playoffs, and hopefully for many more games in this playoffs, there are no doubts. This is Jaylen Brown's team. This is Jaylen Brown's chance to do something big. Another update about that Jason Tatum Achilles injury is that he got surgery on it remarkably fast. And I saw some Twitter article that said most of the time people don't get surgery on those kind of injuries that quickly, and that would actually be something more positive for his recovery. So that's good news. But obviously, as a Celtics fan, it's tough because I still think the Celtics have a good chance against the Knicks, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, to have a 20-point lead against them, missing your best player. I mean, we've had like a 20-point lead against them in almost every game the Celtics have against the Knicks. So it's not crazy to think the Celtics can continue putting up points and continue knocking down three-pointers and players like Derek White can step up. I mean, Luke Cornett was playing out of his damn mind. I don't know if he's going to keep on doing that, but it's not out of the realm of the imagination that the Celtics can step it up. Jaylen Brown can get some extra motivation here, and they can beat the Knicks. And it's going to be interesting, too, if they go to MSG, which I believe stands for monosodium glutamate. And if they go in there and they beat them on their home floor with Timothy Chalamet and Kylie New-Face Jenner, if they can beat them on the floor at MSG, then the Knicks are going to have to feel like they've lost a whole lot of confidence if that does happen. Because I think that once Tatum went down, I think if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm thinking this series is over. And even as a Celtics fan, I thought, man, as a Celtics fan, like I said, I still think we can beat the Knicks. But I just don't know if, let's just pretend that OKC makes it to the Western Conference Finals, a very deep team. It might be hard missing your best player. If the Celtics can get that far, of course. First, they got to get past the Knicks. Obviously, they are one loss away from being out of the playoffs and losing to the Knicks. And then they would have to get past the Pacers. And that's the next series to talk about. The number 1 seeded Cavaliers dropped the ball versus the Pacers. And I honestly feel kind of bad for Cavs fans. That's just tough. They had an incredible season. They looked incredible. They played such good defense. Mobley and Allen were just absolute forces on the defensive end. And you had Donovan Mitchell also playing incredible basketball. And I thought that this could really be their year. I think a lot of people did. So to lose to the Pacers, that's a tough one. And it seems like the Pacers are playing good basketball at just the right time. I felt like they were doing that in the in-season tournament as well when they lost to the Lakers, I believe. And let's see. I mean, Knicks, Pacers, there is some history there if that's the two teams that make it into the Eastern Conference Finals. There's a lot of history there with the Reggie Miller doing the choking celebration. But I can't say that those are two of the teams that if I'm a generic or general NBA fan, that's who I'm hoping to watch. The Knicks and the Pacers, not necessarily. But, hey, if that's the case, then the nation will continue rooting for the Knicks, I think. The Knicks are kind of like the national team in a way. People love rooting for the Knicks. And on the other side, on the Western side, we saw Steph Curry. You know, he's injured. He couldn't play. The Warriors just don't have enough in the tank if Steph Curry's not out there. Steph Curry, unlike Jason Tatum, they don't have enough weapons next to Steph Curry. You know, someone like Buddy Hield, someone like Jimmy Butler. Stan Loves knows that Jimmy Butler just isn't enough. And they couldn't beat the Timberwolves. And it's exciting, though, because Anthony Edwards is one of those potential faces of the NBA, and we get to see him get under the hotter lights. And I think that's great. I think that's really great. And I think that the Western Conference Finals are going to be really interesting, whether it's OKC or whether it's Denver. If it's Denver, I think that, you know, Jokic is a machine. Aaron Gordon is playing incredible playoffs this year. But I think everyone has their hopes on OKC. I think OKC versus Timberwolves will be a very interesting matchup. Two very young teams, two future faces of the league. That would be pretty cool. So we shall see. It's been pretty good playoffs, though, I got to say. It has been pretty good. Not too many blowouts. It's been pretty good this year. So if we continue on now, so that's our bracket. We got the Celtics or the Knicks versus the Pacers, OKC or Denver versus the T-Wolves. And the OKC Thunder are the number 1 seeded and number 1 in Vegas's eyes. If we go look up NBA championship odds, I'm trying to recall who's number 2. So it's definitely OKC number 1. Number 2 is actually the Knicks at plus 500. 3 Timberwolves at 575. 4 Pacers at 650. What did I say? 5? What am I on? 5? 5 Celtics at 17-1. And then Nuggets are 25-1. If I'm a betting man, I might put some money on the Nuggets. Why are they? I mean, they are down 2-3 in the series, but if they win tonight at home, they are underdogs, though, at home. They are 5.5-point underdogs at home. And so Vegas definitely thinks that OKC is taking this home tonight. And Vegas also thinks that New York is taking it home tomorrow night, because New York is favored by 2.5 points at home, whereas OKC is favored by 5.5. So, yeah, 2.5 points. And if you put your money on Boston, you actually get like better odds, meaning that more people are putting their money on New York minus 2.5. So we shall see what happens. Stan says, I want what Tandy is smoking. LB says, what disease does Porzingis have? And Boston-based says COVID. It does seem that way, doesn't it? Where like he can't breathe. That's what I heard. He can't breathe. And yeah, if you can't breathe, that's not going to be very good if you're trying to play basketball, first world-class athletes. So Porzingis is looking rough. And apparently this could be his last year in Boston. I haven't looked at the details of the contract or anything like that, but and some people are saying that, oh, Porzingis' experiment was a failure. I would argue against that. I don't think so. I mean, he might not have been able to do as much as we wanted, the Boston fans, in the playoffs, in the finals last year, but he did have some pretty important games. That's enough for me. The refs will sacrifice the Thunder or the Knicks for those Game 7 ratings, says Perfect Cereal. Well, if that's your hunch, Perfect Cereal, you better go put some money on some underdogs. Boston base says 2.5 is nothing. I agree, but like I said, Vegas is telling us that more people, more volume is coming in on the Knicks at that point spread. Top Shot Hotshot says, does Tatum go to Canada for healthcare? No way he could get it that fast in the U.S. Well, when you're rich, they let you do it. Top Shot Hotshot. When you're rich, the hospitals, they let you grab them by the whatevers and get surgeries whenever you need them. When you're rich, they let you do it. Perfect Cereal says, I still think it's a 50-50 series. And LB says, it seems too fast for Tatum to have gotten surgery because that Achilles tendon had to have been so inflamed. I don't really understand Achilles tendons, to be honest. I don't know if it's like a rubber band. Hold on. I have like a rubber band in my hand. I don't know if it's like a rubber band. It just snaps and then you just got like a little loose piece of tendon doing this. It might be like that. It might not be necessarily like something inflamed, like a muscle or something like that. Or I don't know. I don't know enough about it. Well, that's the NBA. What else you guys want to talk about? We are having a late start today, but at the same time, I admit I didn't have too much to talk about today. Just like last week, I don't have much to talk about lately. I just have too much stuff going on with the family, got sick kids. It's hard to have stuff to talk about, isn't it? Top Shot, though, it looks like we got a video talking about the WNBA, so that's something. I guess we can watch that together if you guys want to consume content. Why don't we consume some content together? We got, let's see, right here. Here we go. We got Samuel D is back making... Oh, that's true. We got to talk about the lottery. We do have to talk about the lottery. Enough funeral music to stand. Turn off the violin. It's making me extremely sad. All right. Sorry about that. Let's watch Samuel D, and then after that we will talk about the lottery.
Chasing championships. This year on WNBA Top Shot, the W is back, and the 2025 season is about to be one for the books. From rookies making their highly anticipated debuts to vets chasing championships, this year on WNBA Top Shot, you're not just watching history, you're collecting it. The Rookie Trilogy returns with Rookie Debut, Fresh Gems, and Rookie Revelation, now with autographed parallels signed and forever on-chain. Stars, we got them. WNBA 2025, Metallic Gold LE, and Hollow Icon all return. Chase the full Metallic Gold LE set to earn a rare rookie reward from #1 pick Paige Beckers and complete the full Hollow Icon set to score a legendary Caitlin Clark. For the gamers, Fast Break Pro Mode hits the W for the first time. It all tips off this month, so lock in, rep your team, and collect the W.
All right, so that's the WNBA video from Samuel D. Yeah, you know what I like about that video? I mean, without giving it any chance to digest that information for more than 5 seconds. But what I like about that video right off the top is just the fact that you get information right off the bat in terms of sets that are coming and in terms of rewards that are coming right away. So there's no like waiting until things happen and wondering what's going to happen. They got right ahead of it this time. And I think that's been like what we've wanted for NBA. And it has seemed like they've tested out things on the WNBA side of things and then moved it over or seen what the reaction was on the NBA side. Because I remember in the playoffs, they did something where they sold very few packs and almost all of it was earnable. Now, I think it's easier, or it's like, it makes more sense for them to do that kind of testing and tinkering with the WNBA, just because I think it's a smaller audience. It's sort of there's less expectation for selling packs or for whatever else that there is for the NBA. So I think you can tinker more. But anyway, good job, Samuel D. I think that was a good video. And I think it's nice to give people the information ahead of time like this. And I think that everyone wants to see that for the NBA as well. Let's be honest. Then there was also this piece of information that I found interesting. Right here, unique buyers. Unique buyers is way up. I found this kind of surprising because I don't know. I haven't been like, I guess we can go look at On the Moment, but unique buyers from March and April. Oh, okay. So we are in May, but we're talking about, okay, the previous 2 months. That's fair. But big time increase in unique buyers. So I don't really understand what that's about or what those unique buyers were buying, but not a bad thing to see that. I mean, that definitely makes you feel good to at least see that there's interest there from unique buyers. And that's true. This is one thing that I forgot to mention. The autographs. The autographs, that's pretty cool. I mean, we did see it already with Magic Johnson. He's the only player, I think, or did Larry Bird do it too? I don't remember, but Magic Johnson definitely did the autograph. So that is cool. And I think that as much as we can create more ways of showing why a digital collectible is kind of more interesting and different than a physical collectible, the better. And if it's a live animation autograph that loads up and scrolls itself out on your digital collectible, I think that's cool. Why not? We should be doing as much as we can to take it full advantage of what makes this different, what makes this special. I just realized that my mic is way down, so apologies if I've been quiet this whole time. And Perfect Serial is not a big fan of the parallels. Stan Loves doesn't want to receive WNBA emails. LB says, I think a woman would be better for that video. Yeah, I think that's fair, but that's okay. I think Sam still did well. Ready says Hoop Vision is bringing it all. Hoop Vision bringing it all the uniques. Ready, I'm not quite sure what that means, but thank you for the comment. And K Don says, are we officially in the bull market? I don't know about that, K Don. That's an interesting idea. I mean, I feel like I got to go look at OTM and see if there's any data to support these ideas. Although I may have lost my login. I think I did. Hold on, let's see. No, I didn't lose my login. Okay, so let's see if I can share this with you guys. All right, we are looking at OTM right now. I'm a little face in the corner. And if we look at over the last 90 days, let's say, so sales are up. Sales volume is up. Pack sale volume is up. Pack buyers is up. Buyers is up. So it does look like things are up across a lot of areas. Active users are up in the last 90 days by 50%, and sales as well up over 50%. So that is good. I don't think that's bad. The market cap, on the other hand, though, it's pretty stable, I guess. I mean, it hit some highs around April. Then it took a little bit of a dip at the end of April, and now it's right in the middle. But not a huge difference. I mean, it's a difference of like $3 million, but seems relatively stable. I mean, the market cap thing, again, though, always kind of confuses me because when you add new moments into the ecosystem, I believe you're increasing the market cap. So it doesn't seem like it is like a one-to-one comparison or you know what I mean? It's not like the same moments that you're just seeing what the value of those goes over time. It's like all moments on the platform. if I were to look at, let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what other data points we could use to get a better idea. If we go to sets, maybe if we go to like sets over the last week, I mean, there's a good amount of green there over the last week. So I think that's a good thing if we go the other direction. There's also plenty of sets that are down over the last week. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not much of a data guy. I would need someone who's a data guy and help me out and figure out this data for me. Show me the data, as John Boy Beats used to say. Reddy says Hoop Vision was a set and all the new unique buyers wanted it. Ugh, the joke is dead now. All right. LP says, if you add them at a rate that users can digest, then yes, the market cap should go up. Stable market cap is just real-time dilution, says LB. Yeah, I think that's like that. You're probably saying what I'm trying to say in a more, in a better way, which is that market cap should be going up if you're adding more to the market. And if it's going down, then it means some things are going down while other things are getting added in. As far as I understand, again, I'm not an expert here. And I can't believe that the lights in back of me are not moving. Oh my gosh, what happened to my Chinese lights? K Don says that Ginger Bloke on Twitter will be all over those data points. Well, that's his website, the Ginger Broke, which I believe you are talking about, TJ. Boston Bay says, I just gave my dog a milk bone and her eyes lit up like it was Christmas. Well, isn't that just what makes life worth living, Boston based? Other creatures that are less nicked up and scraped up and rolled around and tarnished like we all are, that we get to experience their pure, unbridled joy and happiness. That's part of what's nice about having kids, to be honest. You get to live through the reactions of these creatures that are connected to you, but are less screwed up. They are more like honest and open and vulnerable and undestroyed by watching, Chinese factory accidents videos on Twitter, like I do. Anyway, Boston says it's not that deep. It is that deep, okay? It is that deep. K-Don says, oh, no, I meant Drew. I had to look him up. Okay. That's true. There's two gingers. There's two very popular gingers in the Top Shot ecosystem. We got TJ and we got Drew, both very gingery and both very into NBA Top Shot. So that's kind of unique, isn't it? That's kind of unique. What else you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about the lottery. So as you know, the NBA lottery took place. What happened? Why is Reddy Miller saying the F and hello? What happened? What did I do? I don't know. If we go look at the NBA lottery odds real quick. We're going to go look at that real quick. Here we go. Oh, because Reddy's a redhead. Well, that's true. See, there's a lot of redheads on Twitter in the Top Shot universe. That's pretty cool, Reddy. You're my favorite redhead, that's for sure. So these were the odds. You see that Utah had the best odds of a number one draft pick. Then it was Washington, Charlotte, New Orleans, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Toronto, San Antonio, Phoenix, Portland, and all the way at number 11 was Dallas. And who got the number one draft pick? Of course, it was Dallas, the Dallas Mavericks, after they just, after Nico Harrison just completely mismanaged that team by letting go of the future star of the NBA, basically, or the current star. And he gets rewarded. And now he gets Cooper Flagg, who many people are saying is very much a sure thing, number one draft pick, an unbelievable talent. Doesn't seem fair, does it? Doesn't seem fair that the Mavericks can mess up that badly and get rewarded. Of course, you had your conspiracy theorists saying that it's all planned out and that the odds were all fixed, it was all rigged. You had people copying each other's memes with Adam Silver on the phone saying that trade Luka to the Lakers and we'll give you a number one draft pick. You even had people creating drama on the timeline over it. You had Dream Shaker calling out actually Jeb Bush for making that joke. And then he called out Zakarian as well. I mean, man, it was getting messy out there on the timeline. All over the Dallas Mavericks winning the number 1 pick, and then actually Jeb Bush. You creating a joke that a bunch of other people already had. When you think about it, though, it wasn't that crazy of a joke to create. Maybe because he used the same photo. I don't know. We'll have to do a deep dive into if actually Jeb Bush truly stole that joke or not. But you know what? Fair game. Like, that's what Twitter is. There's not a lot of original thought on Twitter. Most of Twitter, most jokes are rehashed. I'll be honest. When I was trying to get my Twitter monetization, which by the way I got, and I got one payment of $14, and then the next time I got no payments, and I haven't gotten payments since. And apparently there might be some kind of issue, and they've changed their plans. So I grinded like an idiot for probably multiple hours, and what for? $14 and a few more followers, basically. So would I recommend you do the same? I can't say I would recommend it, but it was an experience, and that's also what life is about. Life is about experiences. You don't always know what's going to be on the other side of that experience, but you do it anyway. And Reddy says, I'm happy for them. Did we really want Coop in Utah? No offense, Colton. Yeah, Colton was pretty sad. He definitely wanted that number 1 pick, but no soup for you. Do we still have that one? No soup for you, Colton. No soup for you. Just going to have to soak your sadness and soak your happiness and just soak in general. Stan says, the pick would have been the Heats if they missed the playoffs. Shaking my head. Jen copied word for word. I think you mean Jeb. Boston says I'm 100% original. Stan says Jeb. Boston says you only make money on Twitter if you're a Nazi. That's another thing. Oh my gosh. I'm so irritated by that Kanye West song. Kanye West has been dog doo-doo for years. I mean, I was such a big fan of Kanye West back in, I think it was 2000 and I want to say 2000 and what was it? 2010 or something, like when it was after graduation, but it was when that I can't remember the name of the album, but it's the one that had flashing lights on it and Better, Faster, Stronger. And I really enjoyed Graduation, and I really enjoyed that album, which I can't remember the name of. And I went through kind of like a Kanye West rabbit hole around that time, and I would watch videos of him making beats, and when he was in Chicago coming up, and he was just this like, really eager, innocent guy, kind of similar to Boston Bass's Dog. And he went on 60 Minutes, I think, and he made a beat live. And if you've never seen that video, you should definitely check it out. It's pretty amazing. And he was just like this guy that you really wanted to root for. I mean, Jay-Z apparently shot down the idea of him becoming a rapper when he first wanted to become a rapper and like played his songs. And Jay-Z wanted him to stay as a producer. He had that terrible car accident. His mouth was wired shut. That was like his first hit song, was rapping through the wire with that wired shut mouth. He was just so creative and just a guy that, like I said, you could root for, and you felt you just loved him. I loved his music. Now, on the other hand, after he apparently has taken way too much nitrous, after he has, suffered through a really difficult, terrible divorce with Kim Kardashian, after he was dating this woman that he would parade around naked, and he's not with her anymore, he comes out with a song called Heil Hitler, and it's the catchiest drop that he's probably made in the last decade, and that's what pisses me off. It's like, and it's so like cartoonishly anti-Semitic that people are trying to say that it's not anti-Semitic. No, it's not. It's a metaphor. It's the fact that he's the villain. And why can we make rap songs about anything else? Why can't we also make rap songs about Hitler? This is just breaching an area that I feel like doesn't need to be breached. It's getting all those Holocaust deniers horny, basically. on Twitter. You see a lot of them. There's a lot of anti-Semitism on Twitter, a lot of Holocaust deniers. It's really strange and kind of scary that people are that misled. Even people like Dan Bilzerian, who's also like an idiot, but very big character, and a lot of people follow him, and he says the same kind of stuff. And it's kind of scary that there's so much hate. Yeah, and that pisses me off. So I want to just talk through that a little bit, and I'm pissed off that that song is so catchy. And I saw a video of these girls in like Thailand at a bar, and they're all singing it and doing like the Zeke Heil symbol or signal with their hand. And it just seems like some things shouldn't be okay. Like the symbolism that a guy used before murdering 6 million innocent people is, maybe let's not make that guy a hero, even if it's a joke, even if we're doing it in a funny way. How about we just not do that? The same way, and it's not just about the Jews. It's like, you have other massacres that have happened throughout history. Let's not like idolize those people. How about that? Just a small little first idea, first little step into not being complete idiots and complete senseless animals. Anyway, bottled wine is here. Oh, Perfect Cereal wants the violins back. I could definitely do that for you. Heartache. Oh, the 808s. I love that album too. That was after that one. It was 808s and Heartbreak, and the one before that was something else, which I still can't remember. Peachy wants to know, is Giannis going to leave the Bucks? It's never seemed so possible like it does now, Peachy. I don't think he will though. Like I think the Bucks will probably spend money to improve the situation. I mean, they were pretty good in the regular season, even with a lot of struggles. So I don't think he's going to leave. Stan says Roham hacked Mets' Twitter and is posting positive messages. I think Mets probably just lost his mind. Am I watching Eurovision since Budwine? Budwine, I barely have time to like go to the bathroom in privacy. So am I watching Eurovision? I'm not watching Eurovision. I did see a movie though in the last week. And Reddy says that was a solid 5-minute take. Thank you, Reddy. I saw a movie recently called Sinners. I don't know if you guys heard of that movie. If you're on Twitter or if you see movie review websites, you've probably heard of it. It takes place in the post-slavery era of the U.S., and it stars Michael B. Jordan, who plays twins. And Michael B. Jordan did incredible as an actor playing twins. And Boston says, did I see it in a theater? I did, in fact, see it in a theater. It's one of the first times I've been to the theater in probably a couple of years as well, by the way. I think it's so easy to just watch movies like at home or on your phone, or I did go to the theater. And it was a great experience. It was a good movie. It was impressive. It had some really fun parts of it. I don't want to give any spoilers if any of you are wanting to see it. But I found that the first hour of it was really slow. That's what I wrote about on Twitter. Some people, I kind of have to like tiptoe around opinions about a movie like that one, because I think it's something where like the Black culture really holds on to it because it's a Black director. And the same way that like Get Out was also a really important film for like Black movie Twitter, I think this one as well is a really important film because a lot of people like it. It's a Black director, and you don't always see too many movies that do really well with Black directors, Black main actors, and things like that. So I'm sure you remember like Oscar's So White a few years back. So yeah, it was really good though. The first hour I found kind of slow. It was kind of world building if you're into that. But to me, it was kind of slow. But what's interesting is that when I was talking about this with somebody else, I said I really preferred Get Out. And he was saying Get Out was totally slow. And this movie was not. So that's what's nice about subjectivity. You might like one thing, I might like something else. That's what's important. That's what's good. It's good to have everyone can be a little bit different in life. That's good. We don't all have to be the same. But yeah, I like that. It was a good movie, fun movie. Recommend seeing it if you haven't. People see like you have to see it in a theater, you have to see it in IMAX. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, it was a better experience in a theater though, because there's a big musical element, and some of the shots also are very clearly shot for IMAX, like they're very wide angle, but sometimes that feels a bit like a what's the word? A gimmick where like IMAX doesn't necessarily add too much to it. It's just like, oh, let's use this really wide angle lens so that it looks all encompassing on IMAX. I don't know. You could watch it in a normal screen or even on your phone, to be perfectly honest, and you'll probably enjoy it all the same. I watched Get Out on my phone, and it was one of my favorite movies. So there you go. Perfect wants to know who will even be good in the Eastern Conference in the next few years. Weird thing to complain about. Whatever, Boston base. Who will even be good in the Eastern Conference in the next few years? Yeah, I would agree with Boston base. I think the Celtics are still going to be good. It's easy to forget. Like I said, it's easy to forget about Jaylen Brown. I think if we are not going to have Porzingis on our team next year, I imagine that means we're going to have quite a lot of money to be able to spend on somebody else. So the Celtics are still a good team, and this series isn't even over yet. So let's see. Stan says, watching a movie on your phone is disgusting. Well, Stan, I'm sorry that I have disgusted you. You know, sometimes you're lying in bed and it might have even been when my son was already born then, and you're up at all weird times of the day and you watch a movie on your phone. That's what you do sometimes. Botherwine says, I'm going to watch it on my infinite moment. If you can do that, you got to ask Steve how to like jailbreak it so you can do something like that. Yeah, so that's that. That's the movie that I saw. I'm very proud of myself that I saw a movie. What else is going on? Last time we talked about crypto. Is there anything worth talking about in crypto? Let's see how Coinbase is doing. Let's see how Bitcoin is doing. Let's see how they're doing. Bitcoin. Let's go look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is on the day. How are we doing on the day? We are chopping it up on the day. That's what it means. I'm going to give you guys another lesson, okay? I know how much you guys love technical analysis lessons on crypto. But let me take these indicators off. Actually, no, let's turn them back on. It's a little messy, but anyway. So big green bar is obviously a bullish day. Lots of buying going on a big green bar. When you see a yellow bar, in this case, it's called an inside bar. So 1. So these, I'm not going to just go into the whole thing with you right now, but an inside bar is when it doesn't clear the top or the bottom of the previous candle. And that means indecision. So we made highs, and then we got some indecision, and then we made a higher high, but we wicked right back, and the sellers are in control now. Another inside here. So we, again, still indecision. So it seems like the buyers and the sellers are fighting up here. We don't really know who's going to win out. But the fact that our current candle on the current day has a large lower wick and is almost going from a red day to a green day, we are only about $100 away from going to a green day, means I would say it's pretty likely that we will test these highs again sometime soon. And I forget where we were last week. If we were already, I think we were like somewhere around here last week, like 101. So we are higher than we were last week. Crypto is doing well, but as far as a weekly candle, we definitely want to see this close green and not red. So we only have 3 more days for that to happen. But if this closes red, where we peaked above the highs and then closed red, it's kind of a bad sign, because usually when that happens, we see downside. I'm trying to see if I can find you an example. Here's an example. You see how this candle broke the highs but closed red. What happened the next week? We went down. And here's an opposite example. This candle broke the lows but closed green. And what happened? We went up. So if we want to still see more upside, we either want to see this candle not do a whole lot, the body be really small, or obviously we want to see this close green and continue on its path upward. That is what you want to see if you like the Bitcoin. So there you go. That's your Bitcoin technical analysis for the day. It's just about 10 o'clock my time. This is about the time when I got to go help out with my daughter. Even though I know we had a late start today, But if there's anything else that you guys want to throw in the chat that you want to talk about for a couple minutes, then we can do that. Otherwise, we will shut it down and we will talk again soon. But I'll wait a couple more minutes for you. Boston Base says, thank you, Mr. Tandy. Thank you, Boston Base, for being here. Stan Loves wants a fist bump. Okay, well, we shall give it to him.
So, I appreciate it. Yeah, man, that was an awkward fist bump. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. Just gonna clip that. It's gonna go viral. Jesus Christ. No, I appreciate it. It was weird.
The gift that keeps on giving. I guess that's it. Stan Loves won his fist bump. He got it. I don't have much else. I did hear, though, that Ajax in the Netherlands is playing very poorly. So, Baudouin, if that's your team, I'm sorry. And Reddy says, peace. Good luck to your Celtics. The Knicks fans should never have more joy than making an NBA Cup Finals. Yeah. You know, like, I'm sort of torn. Obviously, I want the Celtics to win. I mean, I'm not torn in that regard, but I used to live in New York, and obviously I know some Knicks fans, and I know how passionate the Knicks fans are. And like, there's a side of me that hopes that if they do beat the Celtics, that they do make it to the finals and that they do give the city of New York a really interesting run. There's another side of me, though, that is perfectly fine with the Knicks just continually almost getting there and faltering for the last like 30 years. So either way, I think it'll be interesting. But if the Knicks do beat the Celtics, then I will hope that they can get to the finals. I'll put it that way. But I still want the Celtics to beat them, of course, in 7. And I also want to see what the news stories are going to be if the Celtics can beat the Knicks in Game 6. I want to see what that temperature check is going to be like for like the Knicks fans. I want to see if they're going to be feeling confident still, or if Stephen A. Smith's going to go up there on ESPN and just be like, "This series is over. Even if we win this series, the Knicks have lost." That's kind of what I want to see. Anyways, Pacers versus Nuggets would be hilarious. It absolutely would, Reddy. It absolutely would. If it does become Pacers versus Nuggets, then we know it's not rigged, and the Dallas Mavericks got their first pick fair and square. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's goddamn amazing to be with you all every single time.
It's goddamn amazing. Woo.
And I haven't played this one in a while, but I do love the community.
We love the community.
All right, everybody. Take care. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Enjoy the game today. Enjoy the game today. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and then enjoy the weekend. Take care of yourself and your friends and your family, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Static Selector.